Coming into fall, what does the forecast look like for the end of the year and next year for housing? Let's talk about it on Today in Mortgages. What's up, dreammakers? Welcome back to the show. We're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of mortgage and real estate news. It is Today in Mortgage, and we are back here talking about projections for the coming months and the next year. Rich, we always like to see growth, don't we? But let's see what's happening today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, Michael. Let's get
Yep.
after it.
Okay, let's do it. So the reason we're talking about this today is we pulled an article from National Mortgage News. We'll link that below. The title of the article is How the Home Price Forecast is Changing. So, Rich, without getting too deep into this article, just top level, what is the trend that we've been seeing up to this point in this year, maybe in the past couple of years, and can we expect more in the future?
I wish I could nail it down to one trend because it's
Sure.
really segmented. Some areas are price growth is slowing, some areas are still increasing. Depends on the state, the region, even down to the county level within the state. But at the end of the day, Michael, Fannie analysts came out and said, here's what we expect. Our price growth is going to slow to 3.1% in 2025. So instead of 4.7% like we're going to see this year in 2024, we're going to see 3.1% price growth. Does that mean our houses are worth less? No. It means that they're just not growing. The values aren't growing as fast as they have been. And this is a good thing for affordability. It opens up more opportunity for first-time home buyers and we have this affordability issue, and slower price growth helps. Not a lot, but some.
Yeah, Rich, definitely important to keep that kind of what the growth language here means. Actually, in the first sentence of this article, it says cost trends appear likely to maintain their current downward trajectory. And just reading that makes you think, oh, prices are going to get, they're going to drop. It's going to get cheaper. And that's not what it's saying. You're saying that we're still experiencing growth. That percentage of growth is just shrinking more than it was before, right?
Right. And it's really just from what the analysts are predicting, it's really just 2025. And then it ticks up to, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9 in the coming years. So it's going to keep appreciating because at the end of the day, we still have the same issue. Inventory. We're
So
3 to 7 million housing units short. That's a big climb. We got to climb out of that. And, that's what we've been talking about. New home builders they're scrapping and fighting to get homes built. Uh, maybe rates come down and existing homeowners decide it's time to list because people do have to move. I mean, they have to move for jobs, for family, for lots of reasons, but people are this locked in effect because they've got 2.875 interest rates. It makes it kind of hard to make the move when the current interest rates are 6.25. But rates have been moving downward. We're 90 basis points, almost a full percent lower in the past 45 days. And we're considerably lower since the high point in 8+% range in 2023. So what the Fed is doing, they continue to do, is bring inflation down, and hopefully now we're going to start to see cuts.
Rich, you mentioned affordability. This is good for affordability, this trajectory downward on the price growth. But you also, on the other side of that coin, just mentioned that in the coming years, we're going to see that appreciation tick back up. And that's a problem for affordability. You mentioned home builders. What, if anything else, can be done about this situation? And we'll talk briefly about maybe some ideas that are floating out there in policy world with different candidates.
Yeah, policy. That is really one of the main things that need to be focused on. How are we going to, A, make it easier to build affordable housing for builders, cutting red tape and all that good stuff? And how do we help first-time home buyers in this affordability crisis? How is it that policy can be written to help them get into some of these homes at these high prices?
And hopefully building homes that are going to be targeted to people who need to buy homes at that lower price point. And so we'll see what happens with that. Rich, anything out there that you are seeing as far as policy ideas that you can point to, or is this we're hoping that just generally politicians are seeing the problem and hopefully moving in that direction?
Yeah, the politicians are definitely seeing the problem, because if they're, out actually talking to their constituency, that's what they're hearing. It's not just inflation, although they can tie anything into inflation. It's a housing shortage, and that's a whole separate conversation and policy talks than inflation, because it's not inflation that's partially causing some of the home price growth because of the interest rates where they are, but it's also the lack of inventory, and that needs to be addressed. And what do we got? The first presidential debate tonight, and well, these generally don't result in any big difference. At least we'll get to see the perspective from each candidate on what are their ideas for housing. We've already heard little things from one side, maybe some first-time homebuyer assistance, tax credits, and red tape cutting for builders, and a lot of different things. And the other side, a lot of the same things. So we'll see on how they articulate it and how we digest it, and we'll see where we go.
Tonight should be a wild ride for a lot of reasons, Rich. So we'll see how it goes. Bottom line, it sounds like homes are still appreciating, yet at a slower pace.
Yeah.
So if you're a homeowner, it's good news for you. If you're a buyer, that's also good news for you, because they're going to be able to try to catch up to that home price. So, Rich, before we sign off, any final words you have on this?
If you're a buyer out there that's been looking in the market, continue to stay in touch with your trusted loan advisor. Make sure you're updating your qualifications. Be ready, because the Fed's going to make an announcement to cut on the 18th of this month. You're going to see some benefits to that. Maybe it's not right away, but you have to be prepared. So when when somebody gets motivated to sell their home, you need to be ready to put offers in. So make sure you're keeping in contact with your trusted mortgage advisor. Hopefully that's a network funding loan officer. If not, you're welcome to reach out to us. But stay prepared.
Good word, Rich. And speaking of network funding loan officers, if you're out there and you're wondering, how can I be part of the best network in mortgages and get advice like this and even more every day, check out the Grow link below. We'll get you all the information you need to know to be a part of the best network in mortgages. Rich, thanks again for making us smart on this topic today. We'll link the article below. Go check that out. We appreciate everyone out there for watching, listening, wherever you are. And we'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and/or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.